Hari Om. Let us chant from verses 11 to 20 of chapter 8. Yadaksharam vedavido vadanti vishanti yadhyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi nirudhya cha मूर्ध्नाध्यायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम् ओमित्येकाक्षरम् ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यप्रयाति त्यजन् देहम् स याति परमां गतिम् अनन्यचेता सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतम् नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः आब्रह्म भुवनान् लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् आहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्तां देहोरात्रविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताव्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यहरागमे परस्तस्मात् तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तः सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति।
सह वीर्यंकरवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We are studying verses 12 and 13. Having controlled all gates, sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi nirityacha. Having controlled all gates, having confined the mind in the heart, having fixed his prana in the head, established in yogic concentration, reciting Brahman, the one-syllabled Om, remembering me, he who departs, leaving the body, attains the supreme goal. So, this is where we started last week. First is having controlled all gates. So, What is controlling the gates? Controlling the gates is an awareness of what is entering you. Controlling the gates means it is like, okay, it's like the door of your house. Remember the main entrance of your house. Somebody is coming and knocking. You don't leave the door open all the time. You can leave the door open all the time. What will happen? Except you, everybody else will be in that house. Therefore, what do? In order to protect, you close the gate. You close the door. Okay, having controlled all doors, you can say it like that. Yeah. You close the door. And then having closed the door, you have a video camera, isn't it? You have a video camera. Having closed it, you have a video camera. What is that video camera for? To see who's entering, to determine whether to allow that person or not. That controlling factor isn't there at all today. All kinds of inputs is coming to us from all gates, as a result of which there is absolute lack of control, and the person also gets carried away. Okay. The senses are the gates. The world is that which gives stimuli. And the stimuli enters through the senses and it gets registered in the mind. Where does filtration start? You cannot change the world, you cannot control the world, but you can allow what from the world is going to enter you. That you can allow. You open Facebook, you don't decide what you have to see. Isn't it? You open YouTube, they decide what you have to. Somebody decide, except you. Doesn't matter who the other is. You open the newspaper, the group of people there decided what you have to see, what you have to. So, controlling means others don't decide what should enter you, you decide. Are you able to follow? Others don't decide, you decide. On what basis you decide? That is where the goal comes. That's where the purpose, the goal comes. The moment you have a goal, a purpose, that goal purpose becomes the filter. Is it in relation to the goal? You will take it. If it is not in relation to the goal, you will say no to it. So goal becomes the filter. So having controlled all gates. Why this person has controlled all gates? Because there is the goal. The goal of evolution. And for that goal of evolution, satsang is very important. Satsang means the good stimuli entering you is very important. Therefore, what this person does, make sure that good stimuli enters. Sassangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, nirmohatvam, nirmohatve, nischalatatvam, nischalatatve, jivan muktihi. In Bhagavad, he says, all starts with satsang. Satsang means good. Making sure the stimuli that enters you is not distracting. Are you able to follow? That is controlling. Stimuli enters you should not distract you. We are taking in stimuli because we want to get distracted. That is our problem nowadays. Our problem nowadays is we are so stressed, we are so tired. We say, I just want to. Nobody says, I want to get distracted. Everybody says, I need a break. I need some entertainment to know, sir. I need something to distract myself. Why? Because, are you able to follow? Why you want the distraction? Why anybody wants this distraction to happen? As you are, what you are doing is very stressful. As you are, where you are living is very painful. But you have you don't know what else to do also. Since you do not know what else to do also, neither you can get away from this quagmire. Therefore, what happens? Everybody is making attempts to get distracted. And world gives enough opportunity for distraction. And don't blame the world, because the same world offers you enough material for your evolution also. The same world that is offering you distraction is the same world that offers enough material for your evolution also. Therefore, do not blame the world. What do? You keep goal as the filter and take it. What is for your evolution, you take. What is not for your evolution, you do not take. This is how this person here controlled all gates. Second is having confined the mind in the heart. Having confined the mind in the heart. Look at the poetry here. A subtler entity is given a grosser location. You should know how to read the verse. A subtle entity, mind, is given a grosser location like the heart. This is how you have to read. This is how you have to read the verses. If you start reading, if you learn to read the verses like that, then it becomes easy to understand what he's saying. And if you start taking it literally, that's what some people do. They'll say that take the mind and put it in the heart. First of all, you don't know where the mind is, what the mind is. Heart, at least we know. Mind, we don't know. And where to take it and where to put it. What he is meaning here is a subtler entity is given a grosser location. Having fixed the prana in the head. Same method, same formula. Are you able to follow? This is the formula of symbolism. This is the formula of symbolism. From this methodology, we derive the formula upon which all symbolisms are created. Are you able to follow? The subtler God, which is difficult to comprehend, is given a grosser form. The subtler God, which is difficult to comprehend, is given a grosser form. You should not make the mistake of taking the form as. You should not make the mistake of taking the form as real. For example, if you take it for real here, what is taking it for real here? If you start thinking, I will take the mind and put it in the heart, because Krishna has said, having confined the mind in the heart, having fixed the prana in the head. Philosophy is always taught symbolically. Some will be told directly, most has to be taught symbolically. Why? If it is told directly, you will not hear, you will fall off to sleep. You will get up and go away if it is told directly. Tattvamasi, it is told directly. It doesn't make any difference at all. It's not that they don't say it directly, they say it directly. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi, how many times it is repeated? But having heard it a million times also nothing happens. It means a different kind of language has to be employed to teach. That method of teaching doesn't work. Another method. What is the other method which works beautifully is symbolism. What is symbolism? Symbolism is nothing but you take a concrete symbol to represent an abstract entity. Again, I repeat. What is symbolism? Symbol form. A concrete, physical, tangible symbol to represent an abstract thing. That's called symbolism. That which is abstract is given a form. And this form is of two types. First, we have to understand what the form is. And the form is of two types. I'm not going into the technical words and all that. They have technical words for words for all this. The technical word for symbol is alampana. And then this alampana is of two. Don't worry about the technical terms. Don't worry about the Sanskrit words. All this is to show off. I also know. That's all. So don't worry about this. Don't worry about this technical words and all. Just the concept is important. What is it? The symbol is of two types. When the symbol have organs like hand, legs, weapons, face, smiling, when the symbol has an organic form, that is called pratima, idol. Another way of the form is Shivalinga, where it doesn't have any form. So, but both are symbols trying to convey the abstract. So, some people will worship Rama. Today is Ram Navami, no? So, Rama, yes, a form. Now, Rama will have a form, the hands, the legs, the weapon, etc. That is one symbol. That is one form of symbol, Rama. There is another form of symbol. What is the other form of symbol? A Shivalinga. In a Shivalinga, there is no hand, there is no leg, there is no nothing. You have to visualize it. Another example is a flame. Flame. Shivalinga is not the only example. Some people use Shivalinga, some people use flame, some people will just look into the vacant air. But nevertheless, all are symbols. All are symbols where the abstract is given a location. Why that abstract is given a location? When that abstract is given a location, you can pay attention and focus. The idea is how to make you focus on God. That's the challenge. The challenge is how to make a person remember God. How to make a person focus on God. That's the challenge. Because even if we focus on God, we are not focusing on God actually. As he said in the previous chapters, even when we focus on God, Artha Bhakti, Arthartha Bhakti, Jignasu Bhakti and all he said already. So even when we are focusing on God, we are not actually focusing on God. We are focusing on what God can give us. So for all practical purposes, we are only looking at what? Whoever gives what I want, I will focus. Are you able to follow? Any entity, any being gives what I want, I will focus, I will run behind that. I will chase that, I will run behind that. Then it's a very ordinary, petty, silly, teenage stuff it is. Only teenagers will do that. Nowadays, don't worry, the whole human race is doing that. Therefore, it doesn't make any difference. What is it? Wherever there is a promise, wherever somebody promises, or there is a hope. What is the hope or promise? You want something, I will give you that. Or you get a hope that it will be given. Now, what you will do? You will start chasing that. So, somebody comes and tells you, God will grant you. Somebody comes and says, God will grant you. And then what happens? The mind starts chasing God. It means, where is your focus? The focus is not on God. The focus is on what you want, and God is a tool to get that. That person is called a Ajnani. That person is called an ignorant person. We are not talking about that ignorant person here. We are talking about a yogi here, a person who's practicing. What is he practicing? Trying to focus on God. And when you try to focus on God, in the initial stages, you keep it externally, and then in an advanced stage, you fix the God within yourself. In the initial stages, the location of God is external. In the initial stages, the location of God is external. How do you know the location of God is external? That's why you go to a temple. You go to a temple, you worship God there and come back. Because you know, once you come out of the temple, there is no God. God is confined to the boundaries of the temple, sir, the boundary of the sanctum sanctorum, because only there we think of God. As soon as we come out of sanctum sanctorum, also all other things comes about. So in the initial stages, you locate God to a place externally, and then as you advance, you bring it internal. A yogi is one from external, he has turned internal. That's what in the 3rd chapter he says, from extrovert, you become introvert. From extrovert, you turn introvert. Now, what is turning extrovert to introvert? Fixing the God outside from fixing the God to inside. After the period where you fix the God inside, you will conclude and say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. That's where the conclusion happens. So what is he doing here? Having confined the mind in the heart, having fixed his prana in the head, established in yogic concentration, understand the symbolic language. Understand the symbolic language, and you can practice it also. When you say you can practice it, means what? Locating the God onto oneself. Okay, to put it very simply, mechanically, the rituals are done today. In the Brahmin ritual, the first thing they start is, there is a discipline, there is a prayer. The first thing they start like that. All prayers will start with one. What? Each and every finger they will take and they will touch one organ. They will take one finger and they will touch one organ. They say Keshava, Narayana. It means what? Divine. It has become divine now. Madhava, Govinda. You invoke on each and every organ of your body, you invoke the divine. Continuously you keep doing this practice, morning, noon and night. Over a period of time, you are so convinced that the divine is in you. It's symbolic. Are you able to follow? Shankar, Purida? You don't do it like that, I know. Learn to remember it in this way. Every time you do, it is that. So the divine is located. See, after a while, what will happen? After a while, what happened? It becomes a lifestyle. What is the lifestyle? Invoking divine becomes the lifestyle. And once it becomes the lifestyle, you become very dharmic. What does that lifestyle means? Very simple. Okay, it is said that water is water anywhere in this planet, correct? Whether it is the Ganges or the Amazon or the Nile or the divine kuvam here, all are water only. But then they say, you dip in the Ganges and come out, all your sins are washed away. It's symbolic. It's not that you dip there, you get up, all your sins are washed away, so that you can restart all over again. Yeah. You can restart all over again. It is not that. What it means is, you become so aware, you are so aware of your purity, you are so convinced about your divinity that you will refuse to do. You will refuse to entertain a wrong thought. You will refuse to entertain a wrong word. No wrong action will come out of you. That person is a yogi. And that yogi, when he dies, not all are dying. Understand, all are dying. That yogi prayana kale, that yogi, when he dies, attains the supreme goal. Are you able to follow? So understand the symbolic language of it. Don't take it literally. If you take it literally, you will get into a lot of confusions. Establish in yogic concentration. And then comes Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Reciting Brahman, the one syllabled Om. He is borrowing the Upanishadic symbol, Om. He is not borrowing any worldly, any other symbols. He is not borrowing the Puranic symbols. I used the wrong word, worldly symbols. I should have said, he is not borrowing any Puranic symbols. He is not borrowing any other personality symbols. He is borrowing the Upanishadic symbol. What is Upanishadic symbol? Om. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Om. Mandukya Upanishad talks about Om. Mundaka Upanishad talks about Om. Kathopanishad talks about Om. And Kathopanishad talking about Om is something beautiful. Kathopanishad talks about Om. Those who know and practice dharma and adharma should chant Om and attain. That is Kathopanishad. We all should not utter the word Om at all. If we take Kathopanishad as, Kathopanishad says, who should chant Om? Meaning anybody can chant, only they will get the benefit. Anybody can chant. Doesn't make any, he's not saying you should not chant. But then they're talking about who should chant Om to get the benefit. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Aksharam Brahma. Here, from grosser idol, he is moving on to a subtle idol. Grosser idol is form. The hands, the legs, etc. A form. Grosser, a subtle idol he is moving into. What is a subtle idol we spoke about? Shivalinga, flame, all these are space, all these are subtler idols. And the subtlest of it is the Om. So what does he do? He recite Om. He is chanting Om. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. Of the 10, in fact, most of the minor Upanishads, detailed elaborations goes about Om. Of the 10 major Upanishads, 6 Upanishads talks about Om. Taittiriya Upanishad starts with that. Mandukya Upanishad. The 3 states of consciousness is A, U. Om is of 3 syllables. A, U, The 3 states of consciousness. Beyond that, A represents this, U represents this, represents this. Beyond that is Brahman. Kaivalya Upanishad talks about that. Mundaka Upanishad talks about keep Om as the Lakshya, he says. Keep Om as the Lakshya and shoot the arrow. Mundaka. Kathopanishad takes it one step. Kathopanishad takes it in a different angle. The knowers of dharma and adharma, it says. The knowers of dharma and adharma should chant Om. Meaning, what is the knowers of dharma and adharma means? Those who know the law and obey the law. One is knowing the law, and while one is not knowing the law at all. Another is knowing the law and making all attempts to violate the law. Here is knowing the law, obeying the law. And what is knowing the law, obeying the law means? What is the law of life? The divine. Everything is Isavasyam Idam Sarvam is the law of life. All that is here is only divine. There is nothing other than divine. If you are seeing something other than divine, you are seeing it wrongly. Oh no, sir, Shastra is wrong. How can a terrorist be divine? How can a corrupt politician be divine? How can the hospital that is overbilled? I don't know what is right billing. Right billing means for free, isn't it? Hospital overbilling is what is right billing? If any hospital gives you for free, that is the best hospital. If any hospital gives you a bill, that is overbilling, isn't it? This overbilling hospital, overbilling school, overbilling everything. How can that be divine? The law is, what is the law? Isavasyam idam sarvam. There is only divine, and you need to learn how to see the divine. Please understand. Divine is there already. That's where knowledge is as it is. Knowledge reveals it as it is. Divine is there already. Knowledge reveals it. In order to do that, you need a symbol. And what is the symbol? He moves from grosser symbol to subtler symbol. What is the subtlest that you have come to? Om iti vyaharan eka aksharam. Eka aksharam. And why Om? Sound is the subtlest, and chanting Om invokes the divine. That's why all mantras will start with Om. That's why even when we start the class, we don't say Sahana Bhavatu. We say Om Sahana Bhavatu, isn't it? Aksharam Brahma. Because this Om is given a very high place. A form is a man-made. This is natural. Some gods, there are some gods where they call Swayambhu, no? Swayambhu God means what? If you go to Swayambhu God, you will think the God will come with the form there, no? What is Swayambhu God? It will be just one piece of stone. That's all. Swayambhu means it will be a piece of stone. Swayambhu doesn't mean it will come with carved, beautiful smiling face with carved perfect hands and legs and all. It will not come. If it comes like that, it means somebody has sat and did it. What is Swayambhu means? Just a stone, and that stone is invoked as God. So from the form you move on to that which is natural. That which is natural, the subtlest. Are you able to follow? First is you create a form. When you create a form, how you will create? When you create a form, how you will create? Ram Subramaniam. If you have to paint Rama, you have not seen Rama, no? Have you seen Rama? Even though you have a name Rama, you have not seen Rama. So you have to draw the face of Rama. If you have to draw the face of Rama, some best face you saw, you have to remember and draw that. No, some face you have to remember. Yeah. Maybe my face you can remember. Yeah, and don't draw like that. Huh? I'm just saying. Even if I'm saying, he will not do it. That's another. So you will remember some face, and then you will create a form. From that, you evolve to a thing that is naturally existing, which is not man-made. The elements. Amongst the elements, the subtlest. Are you able to understand the sequence? Amongst the elements, the subtlest. This person here has done that practice. What is that practice? Om Ityekaksharam Brahma and all that. Reciting Brahman, the one syllable Om. For what he remembers? Remembering me. Remembering me implies remembering the goal. When you say remember me, remembering me implies remembering the goal. You got to remember the goal. So you do all this for what? This chanting and meditation is giving me so much of peace of mind, sir. Therefore, I chant. Vasanti, you don't chant for peace of mind, huh? Because half an hour later, the peace of mind goes away. Then what do you do? For the second half hour, Netflix is there, sir. Clear. First half hour, peace of mind, chanting. The second half hour, Netflix. The third half hour, this. And Sunday morning, your class. Clear. Remembering me means remembering the goal. What is the goal? Aikyam is the goal. What is the goal? Aikyam. Aikyam means to recognize the oneness. To recognize the existing oneness. That is called Aikyam. So what is remembering me? Remembering me implies remembering the Aikyam, the essential oneness. For that Aikyam, a person does what? Controlled the gates, confined the mind in the heart, prana in the head, established in yogic concentration, reciting Brahman. All this he does for that goal. For what? Remembering me, that Aikyam. It so happens sometimes that Aikyam may not happen in this embodiment. It so happens Aikyam may not happen in this embodiment. So, as you leave this embodiment, what will happen? You will not say? You will not say? Ayyo pochelam, you don't say. Yeah, you don't say. Ayyo poitarelam, you don't say. Ayyo pochelam, you don't say. Correct. Yeah. Srikanth. And Ayyo solokudadu, they say. Why? Because it's moving. Are you able to follow? So, at the time of death, this person will remember the divine, attains the supreme goal. Attaining the supreme goal here doesn't mean moksha. Attaining the supreme goal here means a conducive environment from where the journey can continue till he attains the realization. That is one way of interpretation. If you want to interpret it in the way of Krama Mukti, you can say that he has learnt everything, he has done everything, goes to Brahmaloka, te Brahmalokeshu Parantakale. Like Kaivalya Upanishad says, he'll go to Brahmaloka. In Brahmaloka, Kshine Punya will not happen. In Swargaloka, the Punya will diminish. In Brahmaloka, it will not diminish. Why? From Brahmaloka, you don't come back. From Brahmaloka, you go to Moksha, Aikyam. Either way, what will happen? Again, this Brahmaloka and all, again Symbolica, don't take it literally again. The problem of philosophy is they speak so much of symbolic language, we tend to take it literally, isn't it? Ravana has 10 heads. It's symbolic. Yeah. You can't ask how long will be his pillow. You can't ask that question, isn't it? For one pillow, you need, for one head, you need a pillow of 2 feet. It means if you have 10 heads, you need a pillow of 20 feet. So that Ravana having 10 heads is symbolic of something. If you take it literally, you will have a problem. And philosophy speaks this language of symbolism. That's why somebody who has known it has to decode and tell us. Shastras have this coded language. Symbolic language means coded language. Okay. Even today they sit and do coding, no? Yeah. And they thought what a great discovery they have done coding. Yeah. All Shastras are code language only. You need somebody to sit and decode it. And what is the training to decode? What is the training to decode? University degree is not enough. You can't get a university degree to decode that. What is the qualifications requirements? Having controlled all gates, the sense control, the mind control, is that which you have to employ to decode what is said here. So don't take it literally. Reciting Brahman, the one-syllabled Om, remembering me, he who departs, leaving the body, attains the supreme goal. What is the supreme goal? Paramam Gatim. In Bhagavad Gita, Paramam Gatim is Aikyam, oneness. Recognizing the essential oneness is Paramam Gatim. So, where did it all start? To remember God in Prayana Kale, so that you will reach the goal and all that. Where did it all start? It starts with door control. Yeah. First, make a proper door. Keep the door safe and secure. Which is what in chapter 2 he called it as Vasehi Yashendriyani Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. Arjuna asked the question in chapter 2, who is the Sthita Prajna? For which Krishna gives an answer. What is the answer? Vasehi Yashendriyani Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. The one who got his senses under control is Sthita Prajna. It means what? See, once you have the sense control, it's a very essential starting point. Once you have it, the next follows. So, what is the highlight? The highlight is the starting point. What is the starting point? Having controlled all gates. Control means monitoring. Control means monitoring is control. Control means monitoring, directing. You open the eyes, stimuli enters you. I'll explain it now. You open the eyes, stimuli enters you. You can't close the eyes. How long can you keep the eyes closed? If you keep the eyes closed too much, imaginary figures will start coming in the mind. Imaginary figures will come. So, better to keep the eyes open. Yeah, better to keep the eyes open. Seeing some real figures versus seeing an imaginary figure. Yeah. First is the stimuli enters. stimuli enters, registers in the mind as a perception. And that perception is an experience. Are you able to follow? The stimuli enters you and the stimuli gets registered in that mind. Registration of perception is what you call as experience. And then we have seen flow of experiences is life, etc. We are not getting into that now. Are you able to follow? Now, having experienced, are you able to now carefully follow? What is control here? Having experienced, what you do? A pleasant experience you want to relive, an unpleasant experience you want to avoid. Are you able to follow? A pleasant experience, you want to relive it. You want to contact it again and again and again. Unpleasant experience, you want to move away from. What is control here? What is filtering here? Control here, filtering here means you don't worry about the experience. You don't analyze the experience too much. You see, is there a connection between your goal and the experience? Are you able to follow? You don't sit and analyze the experience. That and all you need not do. That will make you insane. All that you got to do is what? My goal and this experience, does it have any connection? If there is a connection, what do? That becomes satsang. Because it is taking me to my goal. If it is not taking me to my goal, what do? I say no to it. This is saying yes and no is called controlling the gates. Everybody that rings the bell are not allowed inside, no? Somebody is answered at the gate itself. Somebody is allowed 2 steps inside. Somebody is allowed to come and sit on the. Somebody is allowed up to the living room. You want a glass of water, you will ask, isn't it? It means what? Don't ask for anything. Other things will not be given to you. Somebody else you ask, what do you want? To some you will ask, what you like, I will make that. Are you able to follow? To do all that, first you got to allow that to enter. So what is control here? It is not controlling the experience. It is experiences will happen. Making sure that the goal and the experiences are connected. What is that experience? For example, what is wrong in watching a movie? If somebody asks, what is the answer? Is watching a movie wrong, sir? What will you say? Is watching a movie right or wrong? You know the new movie came, no? RRR. Yeah. RRR came. How many have seen RRR? Quite a few have seen, no? 3D or 2D? I saw 3D only. Yeah, not 2D. Yeah, I saw 3D only. How can you go and watch a Telugu movie in 2D? Telugu movie must be watched in 3D. Now, is it right or wrong? Is that experience of watching a movie right or wrong, good or bad? How would you decide that? Not by that experience. Not by that experience. Because per se that experience cannot be categorized as good or bad. Sunday morning, 7:45 is the class. Sunday morning, 7:45 is the first day, first show. So I tell a message to Venkat, what I'm having a stomach ache today. Venkat will think, oh, so sorry, oh, sir, take care, and all that. And then I go to the movie theater. And then I see Badri sitting next to me. Yeah. Because Badri tells me the previous day that I can't come tomorrow because, some important work is there. So I may be thinking he has to go and visit somebody in ICU or something. Yeah. When we both are sitting next to each other watching RRR 3D movie. Are you able to follow? Per se, it is not wrong. Per se, it is not wrong or right either. Control is in relation to the, are you able to follow? Control is always in relation to the goal. That is control. Monitoring factor. So the goal is the monitoring factor, not the experience. Because fourth thing, don't blame the senses, don't blame the experiences. They are neutral. All experiences are neutral by nature. It is only the goal that makes it harmful or beneficial. You should know how to connect it like that. Otherwise, what will happen? Everything will have a doubt. Mango season. Is eating mango going to take me to self-realization or not? Who can you ask that? Are you able to follow? Mango season. Now, somebody comes and says, yes, every day, morning, noon and night, I'll eat mango. Somebody comes and says, no, it is indulgence. You should not even smell. You should not even look at mango. So even if I go to the market, if I see the mango cart, I will close my eyes. Are you able to follow? So as soon as the senses wake up, stimuli will enter and it will be registered in the mind as experience, perception. That perception is called experience. Layperson's term is experience. The technical term is perception. So an experience is registered. What is the experience? Mango. I'm eating that mango. Registered. So the complete experience of perception of mango happens when does the complete perception of mango happens? You have to see it, you have to smell it, you have to feel it and eat it also, isn't it? Only thing is it doesn't produce a sound, that's all. Isn't it? Otherwise, 4 senses play a role there, correct? So since the mango doesn't produce a sound, you will put your music player and put a sound, isn't it? Because no, that's all. It means so for a perception to happen, senses have to contact the respective sense object, and the experience is registered in the mind. This is how experience happens. Up to this point, there is no problem. This is natural. Are you able to follow? This is natural. Where starts the problem? After the experience is over, that experience creates a pattern. What is the pattern? The reliving. That reliving. And today, our whole lifestyle is reliving. We don't contact anything at all. We simply go on reliving. Here is a yogi who has done this practice. What is the practice? He is not afraid of experiences because he understands that experiences isn't the problem. The filtering mechanism is not there. What is a filtering mechanism? Last week also I am repeating. Today, 100 times we repeated. What is a filtering mechanism? What is it that filters? The goal. What is your goal? That goal tells you, should you continue with it or ignore it? Are you able to follow? That goal tells you, having controlled all gates, having confined the mind in the heart, having fixed his prana in the head, established in yogic concentration, reciting Brahman, the one-syllabled Om, remembering me, he who departs. He keeps coming back to that again and again and again. We are waiting for him to conclude that. Yeah. When he is going to stop saying, he who departs, leaving the body. Leaving the body means leaving the death, physical death, attains the supreme goal, meaning death takes away everything, but this one thing death cannot take away. Are you able to follow? Death takes away everything. And this one thing death cannot, that one thing death cannot snatch away is what? Death snatches away everything, correct? The body, the relationships, the wealth, the health, the name, the fame, anything you name from the world, death can take it away from you. That's why in the Upanishad, Kathopanishad, Yama puts this as a standard. On what basis you will say something is mine, something is not mine? What is the yardstick to say something is mine? And what is the yardstick to say something is not mine? Nachiketas, I am that yardstick, he says. I am that yardstick. What do you mean, I am that yardstick? That which will come with you when you come with me is yours. That which will not come with you when you come with me is not yours. What a touchstone he gives there. Beautiful touchstone. And you can't get anything higher than it. Puneet, are you able to follow? He says, on what basis you say, this is mine, this is not mine? Patta copy irukudhu, sir. Original registered document I have. Parent document also I have. Is that the proof to say something is yours? That's all Vyavaharika. That's all problematic things in the world they say. That's why it can be debated, all that. But here is something different. What? One thing is sure. What? You are going to come with me is sure. You are going to come with me is sure. Today or tomorrow or 30 years later or 40 years later doesn't make any difference, isn't it? You are going to come with me. That is sure. When you come with me, what will come with you? When you are accompanying me, that which will accompany you is yours. When you come with me, what will not accompany you is not yours. And all your lifetime you are focusing on that which is not going to come with you. Ignoring that which is going to come with you. Ignoring that which is going to come with you, you pay attention to all that which will not come with you. Therefore, how will be the prayana kala for that person? That person cannot remember God and all at that point of time. Why? Because whole lifetime he is worried about wealth, preserving wealth and etc. All of a sudden, how he can think of God at that time? Therefore, prayana kale will be very miserable for that person. Prayana kale will be very divine, elevating, ennobling for this person, for whom the yogi here. But one thing is very sure. What? Prayana kale is sure. Why in 8th chapter he talks about Prayana Kale so much, he only has to come and explain, I think. Much ever we explain, I still think no, something he's saying deeper, something he's saying very deeper, something he's saying very, very different. Om has the potency. There is this entire topic devoted to Om in Vedanta treatise. There it is discussed in detail. Since we have that reference, I'm not going into that detail here. In the book Vedanta treatise, there is this entire topic devoted to Om. In part B, there is that section where he will talk about the articulate, the inarticulate, the intonational, the philosophical, all that is explained about Om there. So when you are sitting for reflection, open that portion and read. Om ite kaksa. Why I'm giving that reference is because that has to be connected with, read that portion where the entire description of Om is given in that book Vedanta treatise part B. We move on to verse number 14. I'll take it.
Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginah. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginah.
I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi whose mind constantly and continuously thinks of me without any other thought, O Partha. I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi whose mind constantly and continuously thinks of me without any other thought, O Partha. O Arjuna, I am easily attainable. I am easily attainable by whom? Ananya Chetaha. This Ananya Chetaha, this Ananya Chinta will be the theme from chapter 7 to chapter 12 because thinking about God. Ananya Cintayanto Mam Yajana Pariyupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Next chapter also is going to talk about Ananya Chinta. And how to do this Ananya Chinta, chapter 10 and chapter 11 helps us. In the Vibhuti Yoga and Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, how this Ananya Chinta can be practiced with the form. Now he is talking about Ananya Chinta, how to be practiced subtly. In chapter 10 and 11, how to do this Ananya Chinta, a form. In chapter 10, it will be only the positive glories. In chapter 11, both positive and negative. First, he will take up all the good things of life and say, this is me. And then in chapter 11, he will take both the sides of life and he will say, this is me. He goes, he beautifully accommodates different people at different levels of evolution. People at different levels of evolution are there and he accommodates the entire cross section. When we go there, we will see it. Here he is talking about Ananya Chetaha. Ananya Chetaha means Na Anya Chetaha is Ananya Chetaha. No other thinking. No other thinking. With unswerving mind, satatam, constantly. Nityashaha, continuously. For those who does it satatam and nityashaha it is Sulabha. Sulabha means easy, very easy. Sulabha means very easy. Vijay. Sulabhana Jujubi Nartham. Yeah. Jujubi matter for this. Yeah. It's so easy to get it. So easy to get it. What is so easy to get it? When it is Satatam and Nityashaha. Having come there, it is there. How to come there is the challenge. So having come there, it is Sulabha. And we saw even the path is not difficult at all. Even every step in the journey is pleasant. Are you able to follow? The journey is pleasant. The destination is also pleasant. Both are pleasant. It's not that the journey is painful and only the destination is going to be pleasant. The journey is also pleasant. The destination is also pleasant. If we are feeling the journey is very, very painful, the spiritual path, yoga, this controlling the gates and, sense control and stimuli control, this, oh my God, so much we talk about the mind control, raga, dvesha control, all this looks so difficult. Maybe the destination is pleasant. Maybe the destination is pleasant and not the journey. Vedanta comes and says, no, the journey is pleasant. The destination is also pleasant. If the journey is also pleasant because the journey is guided by knowledge, since it is guided by knowledge, it will be pleasant. If it is unpleasant, means you have forgotten the knowledge. If it is unpleasant, means the knowledge is forgotten. That's why it makes it unpleasant. So he says the word Sulabha means easily attainable. Contrastingly, you say, oh, one of the spiritual path is very, very difficult. Very difficult. It is not difficult. Okay. How do you say discipline is not difficult? It is discipline. Okay. Is discipline difficult or hard? Hard if you don't understand. It is pleasant if you understand. Again, I repeat, is discipline hard or difficult? Hard is discipline pleasant or difficult? It is hard if you don't understand. If you understand, if you don't, or if you misunderstand, discipline means controlling you, suffocating you, then it will be hard only. If you understand discipline is that which is going to liberate you, it is pleasant. If you understand discipline is control, if you understand discipline means suffocation, if you understand discipline means it's there only to make you have a dislike for it. Why? Because there is no right knowledge behind it. So easily attainable because you have the right knowledge. Self-realization is extremely difficult to attain. And the Shastras also talk about Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. And in the next verse, he is going to talk about Bahunam Janmanam. No more Janmas for this person, is going to say. It means what? We have accepted reincarnation. It means we have understood that there is this thing called reincarnation and it happens again and again and again till you reach the Paramam Gatim, till you reach the supreme goal. You will be going through this cycle. It is very clear. easily attainable. That which goes over many janmas, how can you call it easy? The mind says easy means, according to the mind, easily attainable means what? Able to follow? According to the mind, easily attainable means without effort. First thing, it should be easy in anartham, sir. Easy means effort irukudadu. Appadana easy. Easily attainable means first condition, without effort. Minimum effort. Ideal is no effort. Ideal is no effort. At minimum effort. Then you can call it as easy. How can you call it as easy when it is so difficult? It is not difficult at all because you have not understood it rightly. That is why this education was given at the very early stages of life. So you know, right through you are taking the journey and no part of the journey will be painful. Because it is knowledge backing it. Are you able to follow? This is the knowledge, therefore easily attainable because it is backed by solid knowledge. And what we mean by knowledge here? Understanding. Since it is backed by a solid understanding, that solid understanding is because of logic, reason, analysis. Because of the logic, reason, analysis, that solid understanding backing it, it is easily attainable. Here, easy doesn't mean devoid of effort. Here, easy doesn't mean minimum effort. Easy means you don't have to do anything. Somebody blessing you is enough. Easily attainable. People think easily means what, sir? All that you have to do is touch my head, that's all. Touch the head. Like Ramakrishna touched Vivekananda. Ramakrishna has touched millions. It's not that Vivekananda is the only person he touched. He has touched millions, he touched. One person turned into Vivekananda. It has got nothing to do with Ramakrishna's touch. It is that person's preparation. If it is his touch means all he touched should have turned to no. It won't happen like that. Are you able to follow? So easily attainable means what? You don't have to do anything, sir. All that you have to do is what? Just the Guru simply have to touch. That's all. And that touch. Sparsa Diksha, sir. Yes, Sparsa Diksha, touch. Adu kuda vana, sir. Much easier than that. Nayana Diksha. Pathale por. Just the Guru must see. That is enough. Easily attainable. What all people have, what all imaginations people have. Here he says, it is Sulabha, easily attainable. Why it is easily attainable? It is easily attainable because it is backed by knowledge and understanding. So anything that is backed by knowledge and understanding, the journey itself will be present. Please understand, this is Vedantic knowledge. Where the journey is present, the destination, we need not talk about the, we need not talk about the destination at all. Because it's the destination is very clear already. Clear. Sat, Chit, Ananda. The destination is the beauty of the destination. The glory of the destination is not the problem. Here, what do we have to discuss? What do we have to understand? Easily attainable means the journey also will be a pleasant one. Satatam and Nityashaha. Satatam means constantly. Nityashaha means continuously. Like he says, it's not studying regularly, it is studying daily, he says, no. Once a week also you can be regular. Once a month also you can be regular. Once in a year also you can be regular. Clear? So it is satatam and it is nityashaha. It is constant and it is continuous. It means the mind gets distracted. The mind will have a tendency to get distracted. And mind getting distracted is not a problem at all. Why? Nature of the mind is astira and chanchala. Chanchalam hi Mara Krishna. He has said it already. And the knowledge is also given. What is the knowledge? Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena tu guhyate. You will get it by the abhyas, by the practice, by vairagya. And what is vairagya? What is vairagya? Enemies are வீட்டுக்குள்ள விடக்கூடாது. That's what vairagya is. You don't allow the enemies to come into your house. That is vairagya. Are you able to follow? Who are the enemies? Who are the enemies? Raga, Dvesha. Raga, Dvesha are the enemies. And how did Raga, Dvesha develop? How did Raga, Dvesha develop? After the experience is over, you unnecessarily sat and lingered about it. Your lingering caused Raga, Dvesha, not the experience. Are you able to follow? It is the lingering that causes Raga, Dvesha, not the experience. Therefore, it is easy for the one who has a control over the senses and directs the mind to the self. Because it's not difficult. It is very difficult to keep the enemies away. Will you say that? Are you able to follow? It is very difficult to keep the enemies away, sir. It means what? You have not yet understood it as the word that you are using is enemy, but the mind is still attracted to that only. Are you able to follow? So it is sulabha. Sulabha means the beauty of Vedantic knowledge is that it makes the journey also pleasant and makes the destination also the pleasant. As actually, we don't have to talk about the destination at all. If right through the journey is pleasant, that's what we are concerned. This pleasant journey is what is called inspiration, motivation. Able to follow? What is motivation? What is inspiration? Knowing how to keep the journey pleasant. Knowing how to keep the journey pleasant is what motivation, inspiration is. If you think the journey is going to be painful, or if you are experiencing any pain, what does it mean? The person is still looking for some easy method. That person is still looking for some easy method. And there is no easy method. There is no easy method. Why? I am easily attainable by ananya chetaha satatam nityashaha. Who is he? The ever steadfast yogi. The ever steadfast yogi, by continuously, constantly thinking about me, easily comes to me. How the journey can be easy? Because we have seen that already. Actor on the stage. All the roles that I am doing, sir, it is so painful. It is distracting. It is taking me away. How can you say the journey can be easy. If I don't have any role, then my journey will be very easy, sir. But so much of roles I have, so much of responsibilities I have. Idallam mudichittu I have to sit and think of God also. How can that be easy? Is the problem. Are you able to follow? Is the problem. For which he says, no, no. It will be easy if you understand what it's a role that you are playing. Role means what? Role means I am not that. Are you able to follow? Role means I am not that. When I am playing, I am playing the role of the teacher. If I say that, what is implied in that? I am not the teacher. It is obvious. When you play the role sincere, dedicated. All that is implied in that. We need not talk about it. But it will not make it a burden. It will not make it painful. Why? Because you understand it as a role playing. Since it is the role that you got to play, you play it. And playing the role will need not distract you from remembering God. Are you able to follow? Playing your role will not be a distraction to remember God. That's the training. Example, Shruti. In the Carnatic, in the Indian classical music, they talk about Shruti. In any music, there has to be a Shruti. Otherwise, there can't be a music. If there is a rhythm means, if there is a beautiful rhythm means, there is a Shruti at the background. So any classical music will have a Shruti. But we give one example because that's the only music we know here. So we keep giving that example. It doesn't mean other musics don't have it. So Shruti. What is that Shruti? It's a training. What is a training? As you go through the roles, one part of you remembers the divine. Why? Because the purpose of you playing the roles is to get to that aikyam. The purpose of playing the role is to get to that state of oneness, the merger, becoming the self. Once you know you are doing it for that sake, the role will be all the roles that you play, all the responsibilities that you have will be very pleasant. In that pleasantness, it is sulabhaha, easily attainable. In that pleasantness, it is sulabhaha, easily attainable. Therefore, verse number 14, I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi whose mind constantly and continuously thinks of me without any other thought. Without any other thought implies there is no other purpose. Any other thought doesn't mean only this. There is no other purpose. Without any other purpose, thinking about me constantly, thinking about me continuously, easily that person attains my goal. Attains me, not attain my goal, attains me, and that is the goal. With this, we conclude verse number 14. And we continue with verse number 15 onwards in the next session. There are a few clarifications. We will take it up quickly. Yes.
One is abstract and another is symbolism. So you help us to understand the relationship between abstract and symbolism. But what I'm not able to understand is mind in the heart and fixing prana in the head. What is he trying to say? Why did he bring up mind and prana, head and on here?
The question is symbolism and all. It is with reference to the previous two verses. Clarification is reference to the previous two verses. Symbolism and all is understood. But why mind in the heart and prana in the head?
What should I learn from that? Why was it brought up all this?
In the course of explanation, I said that also. From externally, from seeing God externally, each and every part of you, you convert it, you place God in you. So the heart, the head and all can be understood. Correct? There is the head. You see it. There is the heart. You know it because it is still beating, isn't it? You know the head because if you touch it, there. Prana and mind is not. So why he said the mind in the heart and prana in the head? He's not saying take the prana and put it in the head. Take the mind and put it in the heart. Even though the language is that. It's poetry. In poetry, it's poetic license that he has to use certain words. Are you able to follow? We have to understand it as poetry and poetic license. Why did he use this word? Because that word is the most appropriate. He thought it's the most appropriate word that would convey the point. Are you able to follow?
The point.
What is the point? The heart is gross. The mind is subtle. Instead of saying take the heart and put it in the mind, he's saying reverse. Put the mind in the heart. What does that mean? Symbolic it is. You are saying, she is saying symbolism and all I understood, but mind and heart I am not able to understand. It means what? Symbolism you didn't understand. It's poetic language. And not to be taken literally. What she is asking is, why not say, take the mind and put it in the leg? Why not say, take the prana and put it in the hand? Why specifically saying head and heart? That's the question. You follow? That's the question, for which the answer is this. The heart represents the core. Put the mind in the core. You can interpret it like that. Pranas in the head. The Yoga Shastra will define a chart. They will make a chart. The nadis, the chakra and all that, they will draw a chart. And then they will say, all this must be taken and put it in the head. In Vedanta, we don't think about it like that. We take it symbolically. Are you able to follow? It is pure symbolism. You follow? There's no specific reason for why mind in the heart, prana in the head. It's poetry. Understand the symbolism, and still if you have a problem, come back next week, we will take it up. But it is only symbolic by nature. There is no specific reason. Okay? Where is the other car?
Yes, Vijay has a clarification.
Vijay, from where did he come all of a sudden? Acharya. Okay. What is the question? Oh, okay. Oh, Tamil word. Okay. Does Manasarchi goes with Yama? Correct. Manasarchi na ennappa? Manasarchi means what? Conscience, sir.
Acharya. Question
he will use a word and he will want me to define that word and answer the question also. The person using the word should define. No. Yeah, he is saying Manasarchi. Now he is saying, no, I don't know that word also. You define the word and you answer whether it will go with Yama or not. What will go with Yama? The collective knowledge and wisdom goes with Yama. Collective knowledge and the bundle of ignorance and wisdom. The proportion of wisdom and the proportion of ignorance. That will go with Yama. And you have a choice to change the proportion. More of ignorant to less of wisdom, to more of wisdom and less of ignorance. That will go with Yama. What all constitutes that bundle of ignorance and wisdom? Ignorance is vasanas. Wisdom is how much you have understood Vedantic knowledge. How much you have understood Vedantic knowledge. That is wisdom. Ignorance is vasana. Now, when you understand Vedantic wisdom, obviously you will be careful. Obviously you will be responsible. Obviously you will be careful. Now, what is conscience? Being responsible and being careful is conscience. The word that he used is manasachi. Manasachi in English means conscience. And what is conscience? That which makes you responsible. That which makes you careful. That which makes you alert. That is conscience. And that conscience is wisdom. And that will come with Yama. Don't worry. So yeah, Vijay, it will come with Yama. Anything else? One more with Ranjini, we will take it.
So is a control, is the starting point of control, is it at the very gate, or is it at the time of registration of perception, or after the registration of perception? Where does control start exactly?
The question that she is asking is, where does control actually starts? Is it at the
gate?
Is it at the stimuli level, or
at the registration
of perception
or
after the registration of perception? I have said it very clearly. Control starts after the experience. Control starts after the experience.
Which means anything will come.
Control starts after the experience. Meaning, if you open your eyes and go on the road, you will see so many sights. You cannot avoid that. You can't sit in the house. You have to go onto the road and see so many sights. Now, when you see so many sights, something you see makes you to come and relive. Are you able to follow? Something you see makes you to relive. Badri used to drive me to the Sunday. In last Janma, we used to do these classes. Live class. This is also called live. I don't know. How do you? Personal classes. That is called. What is the word now? New words have come after the pandemic. Yeah. So at that time, Badri used to drive me to the class. And he will drive me in that Dabba Maruti 800, he will drive me. Yeah? He can't sit in the car, I can't sit in the car, and we'll be sitting on each other and we'll be driving to the class. As we are driving, we will see other cars also going. Yeah. A Rolls Royce going, a Jaguar going, a BMW going. I see all that. You got to see it. You got to see, you got to know what you are seeing also. Are you able to follow? You got to see, you got to know what you are seeing also. Problem is not with that. Where will problem start? After seeing the BMW, if I start thinking, I should be the one sitting in that BMW, no? Are you able to follow? That is where control is lost. Are you able to follow? Where is control lost now? Not on seeing the car, control is not lost. Knowing the car, control is not lost. When you lose the control, you lose the control when you say, You lose the control when you say, I want it for my happiness. Without it, I am unhappy. Are you able to follow? Where you lose control. Without it, I am unhappy and I want it for my happiness. Sitting in the car with Badri, I am unhappy. All what Badri does not, he is not changing the car. Now he will say pandemic, sir, so he can't change the car now. Are you able to follow? So where do you lose control? What is the actual point of losing control? That will bring me happiness. That thought that is going to bring me happiness is where you lose control. Opposite of that is you appreciate the beauty of it. You know it is beautiful. You know it is fantastic. You should appreciate the beauty of it. You should know the value of it. All that is fine. Ramtirtha says, to enjoy the beauty of a landscape, you need not own it. Are you able to follow? Where you lost control? Not seeing the landscape. Not saying that it's a beautiful land. You don't lose control there. Where you lose control? When you connect that to your happiness. That's where you lose control. Knowledge comes and says, it is beautiful. It is wonderful. That just because it is beautiful and wonderful is not going to add up to your happiness. That's where you lose control. Are you able to follow? Thinking that it will give you happiness, you start lingering. Are you able to follow? Thinking that it will give you happiness is where you start lingering. What is lingering? It's good car, no? It's good car, no? And we saw the steps involved in it. I'm not suffering, sir, but if I have it, it will be good, no? You have lost, that is the first level of losing control. I'm not suffering and all, but if I have it, it will be good, no? Continue the lingering. Do the lingering. You will start missing it. You will start missing it. Continue the lingering. Without it, you will be convinced. Without it, it is miserable. Continue the lingering. You will do anything to acquire it. Are you able to follow? Where it all started? Where it all started? Having that is freedom from my misery. Acquiring that is what is going to give me freedom from my misery is losing control. Are you able to follow? Why it is so is because highly ungrateful to what I have in the present, criticizing the present, I am pitching my happiness in the future. That's where you lose. The intellect is lost. It is being ungrateful to the present. That's why Vedanta says, be grateful to the present and still aspire for the higher. There's no problem. Are you able to follow? Be grateful to your present and aspire. There's no problem. But aspiration itself comes out of misery in the present. That is what is called as losing control. Are you able to follow? Where does person lose control? Knowing that is not losing control. Appreciating the beauty of it is not losing control. Looking at that, I look at my present and I feel miserable. I feel ungrateful. Yeah. Are you able to understand? Where is control lost? That's how you think about it in this direction. You will know. Is it okay? Yes, Punit. Punit raised his hand, I thought. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't able to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I raised hand, but I thought we are running out of time. Just like decoding the same question,
Yes.
the experience.
Yes.
Also to see when we do the musing and all, if the previous experience should be complete, when you said all the senses, you look at the mango, you touch, you smell, and then
Yes.
do you have to finally eat it
Yes.
to know that experience and then
Yes.
the musing and control starts?
Exactly. The experience has to be complete first. Very well follow what Punit is saying is, the experience must be complete for the musing to start. Only if the experience is complete, the mind knows what it can get. When the experience is complete, the mind knows what it can get. What it can get. Take the example of the mango. It is so wonderful to see. It smells good. You touch it. So it's very, not like jackfruit. No, you can't touch the jackfruit, isn't it? Mango is not like that. It is so, neither it is like a coconut where you have to use very hard metal to tear it open. Everything about it is so wonderful, so beautiful. And then you taste it. Wow. Mango, what? King of fruit. Huh? Mango becomes the king of fruit. It means the experience is complete. Are you able to follow? Having finished with this experience, musing starts. What is musing? What is musing? Wanting that same experience again and again and again. Are you able to follow? Wanting that same experience again and again and again. In that hurry to wanting that experience again and again and again, the mind forgets a vital factor. What is the vital factor the mind forgot? 10 months of not having that mango, is that what gave that joy? Are you able to follow? 10 months of not having it is where the joy came from. Second mango, the joy is lost. Third mango, it is lost. Fifth mango, you feel like throwing out. 10th mango becomes a punishment, no? You follow what I'm saying? It means mind doesn't know how to process and understand the experience. Follow? It is the intellect that knows how to process that experience and guide the mind accordingly. That is control. Mind knows only two things from an experience. Mind knows only two things from any experience. What are the two things that the mind knows? Instant pleasure, instant pain. Mind cannot see anything beyond it. Are you able to follow? Anything that gives instant pleasure, mind will want it. Anything that gives instant pain, mind will not want it. For mind knows only these two experiences to process. Intellect comes and says, these are not the factors. Then what is it? The knowledge becomes a fact. So when knowledge comes, musing stops. Is it okay, Punit?
Yeah, but see, it was also related. So this part is very clear. Thank you. It was also related to now trying new experiences. So mind will tell you, like nowadays, people want to try different things,
Yes.
off-road things and stuff,
Yes.
which is not neutral, right? Because they've experienced and then they realize over a period of time,
Correct.
Doesn't give you the same happiness, right?
Correct.
But then where do we draw the line? It's not about, exploring. People want to do different things and they feel there is happiness. So that's why I was asking, the experience will be complete when we do that thing, right? And then realize, but then it's like a black hole, right? You're just going there and then.
Correct. Then it's a black hole.
Yeah.
It's a black hole. It just keeps sucking you. It just, everything that goes in, it sucks. Emptiness remains the Emptiness remains the same.
Yes.
The nature of human being exploratory in nature, necessarily everybody will try, because human being has this exploratory nature. So you have to try a new cuisine, you have to try a new place. The problem is not with that. The problem is that exploratory nature must be guided by the goal. Exploration should happen because it's nature for a human being to explore. But the exploratory nature must be guided by the goal. If the exploratory nature is not guided by the goal, then the human becomes like feather in the summer breeze. Like a feather in the summer breeze. Go all over the place without anchoring anywhere. Without anchoring anywhere. Is it okay, Punit?
Yes.
Yeah. One more we'll take and we conclude. Yes.
So when the first time when the eyes open and sees that itself is not got an experience.
Eyes
As
see.
soon as the eyes see, the very seeing is not an experience.
That is, in what sense you are meaning, you are using the word experience, I don't know. What she is asking is, as soon as the eyes see it, the eyes saw mango. Take an example. I saw mango. Have you experienced mango? Have you experienced mango? Can you say that? You cannot say. Why? Because it's not a full experience. Sensory perceptions alone, sensory registrations alone is not experience. Any number of times we have discussed it again and again and again, we come back to the same confusion. Sensory registrations is not experience. It has to go to the mind, and it has to be a comprehensive thing at the level of the mind. Then only you can say, I have experienced. It means what is important for an experience? What are the three ingredients necessary for an experience? The object, the senses, the mind. It's very clear. Are you able to follow? Three things are necessary for an experience. One is the object. Second is necessary sense organ. Third is mind. There is a tragedy in the house and the fellow gives you a basket of mangoes. Mind is elsewhere. No, will that mango give joy? There is a funeral. There is a dead body in the house. You like mangoes very much, and not knowing there is a death in the house, somebody sends you a basket of mangoes. Will that mango give happiness? Are you able to follow? It means for an experience to happen, three things are required. What are the three things? The senses, the object, the senses, and then the mind. Only when all three are present, we will say an experience. Are you able to follow? Idhula one illana kuda it's an incomplete experience. Mind will not linger. Mind will not linger because it doesn't even know it. No, then how can the mind linger where it has not even experienced anything? So it will linger only when the experiences are. That is why we say it is mental reliving, not the physical seeing. It's mental reliving. Are you able to follow? For anything to have, for an experience to be complete, three factors have to be there. What are the three factors? The object,
The organs.
the senses, the mind. Mind is there, object is there, but I am blind. I lost my smell. Are you able to follow? Will that experience be a complete experience? So for an experience to happen, what are the things that is needed? The senses, the object, the senses, the mind. When all three interacts, something happens. That something happening is called an experience. If that experience is pleasant, unpleasant, that experience produces a reaction. What is the reaction it produces? Pleasant or unpleasant? Mind will go for that which is pleasant and it will avoid that which is unpleasant. Intellect, knowledge comes and says, do not decide based on the pleasantness or the unpleasantness. This is control. Think over it. Any number of times you can ask, you can bring it up. Because how much ever you hear, you keep missing it. How much ever you keep hearing, you will miss it. It's okay. Keep bringing it up again and again and again. No problem. So yeah. With this, over no Venkat. With this, we conclude for today. Puneet, are you okay? Huh? Right.